This is why I don't vlog. There is just so many elements to putting a setup together and vlogging, and I do not have the patience for that. Hey everybody, welcome to the House of Sunflowers. I am Kame. A lot of changes is going on, big changes, and I want to invite the collective to this experience. So most people know me for like my content that I put out on TikTok, being very educational about the spiritual journey, trying to give you a full picture of what the spiritual journey looks like. And I'm going to give you a whole new element of what the spiritual journey looks like, because that's where I'm being pointed. I am very, very transparent in just like my journey, what I'm going through, how I'm learning, how I'm growing. And I think that's very important. I think people are just kind of masked by Hollywood and what they think spirituality, or what Hollywood makes spirituality looks like. And I know that I keep saying that, and I'm probably going to keep saying that until the wheels fall off, because of the simple fact that it's a lie. Like, it's a lie. Like 90% of it is fake. Only 10% of what they put out there is real. And spirituality is literally unseen science. So it's more everyday and realistic than what a lot of people realize it actually is. So I had to deal with a client the other day, and she was talking to me about tapping into her superpowers, or not superpowers, her spiritual powers, which the mindset, because of mainstream media, is that like you elevate and all of a sudden you have like these magic superpowers. You can bend air and fire and water and all these different things. And it's not like that. It's not like that. Our spiritual gifts are a part of us. They're not separate from us ever. And on some level, you're probably utilizing these spiritual gifts all the time, and you don't even realize that you are using them, because you don't understand that they're much more real life than what we've been taught that they could be. You know, it's not like getting injected with like a mutant, I don't know, something, and then and then all of a sudden you could just like blow holes through the walls with your hands and things like that. Not realistic, not real life. Then also, when you are navigating through your spiritual gifts, you have to understand that your spiritual gifts are always with you. They have always been with you because you were born with them. So it's not something outside of yourself that you have to obtain. They're within you. They've always been there. You just haven't sat with yourself to know thyself, to sit down and ask your body particular questions on how your spiritual gifts shows up for you. What are your yeses? What are your nos? What are your maybes? As far as dealing with the Loa and the Orisha, and I talked about this a little bit on my TikTok page, but they also manifest in your life in a real life way. It's not, I want us to take and deconstruct Hollywood and spirituality, or what Hollywood's version of spirituality. I want us to deconstruct that from our minds, because a lot of people get lost in that. Here's the thing. I am taking my spiritual journey abroad. What does that mean? That means I am literally getting rid of everything, and I am going completely out of the country. My goal is to permanently like live there, but I'm going over there to really just explore the world. And I am starting in Southeast Asia, and I'm going to Thailand first, which is a place that I have been wanting to go for so long. I have literally, next to Bali, like Thailand has been my bucket list place. And I don't even like to use bucket list, but that has been the place that I've wanted to go. I have been planning my trip to Thailand since 15, 16. Okay, I always knew that I wanted to go get tattooed by the Buddhist monks. I wanted to, be engaged with the monks if I can, just anyway, even if it's like with volunteer work, do volunteer work with the elephant sanctuaries, the real ones over there, and just have that full on immersive experience, not just do the touristy things. Now, I know, like, for my family, they probably think that this is just something crazy, even though my family knows I have been talking about going to Thailand for years, literally years. But to do it the way that I'm doing it, they're probably like, oh my God, you're crazy. You're in your 40s, you're having a midlife crisis. I am not. Having a midlife crisis is to just randomly do something very, very big and outlandish. And this is not that. And this is why this is not that. Because like I said, I have been planning my trip to Thailand since like 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. And then back in like 2011, 2012, I wanted to go to Bali. I wanted to just get rid of everything, sell everything, buy a place that was like, or rent a place that was already furnished, because I think you can rent a place for an entire year for like $8,000 in Bali that is completely fully furnished. The spiritual journey has always been on me. And back in 2011, 2012, I was like 25, 26 years old, and I didn't do it. It's interesting because, and I'm going to get back to the fact that the spiritual journey was just kind of always on me, or been placed in unique positions to go and redo missed opportunities in my life. And I don't know if other people are experiencing this also on their spiritual journey, but this is not the only time that I've experienced this particular situation. But then also too, like, noticing patterns and cycles in how do I want to explain this? Different patterns and situations in my life, I have also been able to kind of go back and relive those situations. Let me give you an example, like a particular relationship I was in back around 2015, 2016, when I was planning my trip to Thailand. I was dating somebody that was 8 years younger than me, and the dynamic of the relationship was good. Like, there was a relationship full of love, but there was a lot of immaturity on both parts in different ways, right? And there was a lot of things that we needed to learn, but we were never going to learn that together. So we needed to break up. The breakup was terrible because when you have two people who know that you're not good for each other and that you can't continue on, you both aren't happy, but you're breaking up from a loving space instead of, it's easy to break up when you hate each other and you both are doing like shady shit to each other. It's easier to break up that way. But when you have genuine love and you're just sitting in a space where this is not going to work and you need to separate, and it's not as bad as a traditional breakup, it's a little more hurtful. Even though we still ended up on bad terms, it wasn't as bad as a traditional breakup would be. But fast forward to some years later, when I came to Texas. Well, I originally moved to Texas and I ended up in another relationship. That person was of the same astrological sign. And it was interesting because our relationship was a little bit more tumultuous, but it reminded me of that previous relationship that I was in 2015. The only difference is as I was in the position of being my ex at that time, and the person that I was now with was in my position. So it was like I was looking at myself from a different vantage point, and I had the unique opportunity to relive that and kind of redo that moment. Even though this relationship, it still ended in a loving way, it wasn't tumultuous or anything like that, but it also, it didn't end good. And this particular person, was a reflection or a manifestation. And this is what I tell people what twin flames are. Twin flames is a manifestation of your subconscious mind on wounds and issues that you are unwilling to deal with. So remember how I said spirituality is is like more real life than what is depicted in the media or in mainstream Hollywood, because of the fact that that physical manifestation was an entire human being that existed. It was a complete reflection of wounds that I had not dealt with. And these particular wounds was centered around my father, right? And so all of the issue, I mean, this person was just like my dad. I have never, ever, ever dated anyone who was a direct reflection of my father and the issues that we had. And it's so interesting because of the fact that my dad, a reflection in that relationship, and the being with that person and being in a relationship with that person made me reconnect with my dad. And it was interesting because Spirit just kind of started talking to me about mending that relationship with him, because me and my dad relationship was so tumultuous that we didn't talk for years. Like, we would have pockets of life where we would talk, and then we would have pockets of life where we wouldn't talk to each other for years. And it was because of just our whole dynamic. But that whole entire year that I was in a relationship, my dad was the focal point. And one day after the end of that relationship happened, I was standing in the kitchen and I forget what I was doing, but it just dropped in my spirit. I said, my dad is about to die. And literally that was in February of 2024. That was in February of 2023. So we're at the top of 2023. I was standing in the kitchen and I said, my dad is about to die. And it was weird. And then March came around and my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And then that relationship, and me and that relationship, like I had just broke up with that guy because Spirit was on my ass. My ancestors was on my ass. They said, you have got to break up with him. You cannot do this. So I follow suit because I'm just at a point in my life and on my spiritual journey where when Spirit talk, I'm just going to listen. That's just what it is, because they don't lead me astray. And then when I was struggling with breaking up that relationship, one day they just took the rose-colored glasses off my face and I said, oh my God. And I picked the phone. I said, this is done. We over. We got to break up. They gave me the glasses. I could see, and it was over. And so that happened in January. I got the message that my dad was going to die in February. March, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. I had a job. I had just started a job. It was a whole debacle around that. And I was still trying to hold on to that. At the time, I was still new, still in orientation. And I got the phone call that my dad was in the hospital with stage 4 cancer while I was in orientation. And so I tried to stay as long as I could. And I said, listen, I'm too far away. There's stuff going on with my dad. I got to be there to at least see what's going on. Don't know how. Long story short, and it's crazy because I was in training to do a work from home job. And I was at the end of my training to go home. And literally only thing they had to do was get with IT and change my IP address so I can work from home and be with my dad and be there to take him to his doctor's appointments, chemo, things of that nature. They literally told me that they didn't want to deal with calling IT and having the IP address switched, even though they liked me as an employee. So I said, you know what, fuck this. I quit. I went home in May. My dad passed away in June. Like on the summer solstice, June 21st, my father passed away. So I literally had a month. And I couldn't imagine if I sat there and I took my time and I dicked around with this job and I waited any longer to go home. Because what ended up happening is, even though me and my dad didn't have a conversation that we should have had at the end of his life, we didn't end on bad terms. And so it was interesting that I was in that particular relationship that was a manifestation of what I wasn't dealing with in my subconscious mind. And that reflection was of my dad in all points like pushed me to mend the relationship that I had with my dad before he had passed. So I said all that and told you this whole big story to say I've been put in unique positions on my spiritual journey to relive certain moments in my life and to also go back and redo missed opportunities in my life as well. Going back to my whole trip abroad. I initially wanted to go on my spiritual journey back in 2015, 2016, go abroad, go to Bali, find myself. 25 years old, my family was a factor. They were going to talk me out of doing something, especially going by myself so far, this, that, and the other. I lost literally half of my immediate family last year. Literally lost half of my immediate family last year. And I did not push myself through my fear back in 2015. What is it? No, that was like 2012, 2011 when I wanted to go to Bali. I wasn't pushing myself past my fear. I talked myself out of it. I was in a relationship that was not good for me. I ended up getting married. I never went anywhere. And it was a long and hard road. A long and hard road. A long and hard road. Where's the camera? The long and hard road. Until I got to a moment where I recouped all my financial losses. My family's not a factor. And Spirit has also told me too that I needed to get past this moment with my dad transitioning for me to soar, for me to fly, for me to go and be abundant. Get down, goddammit. Jeez, my cat, some reason has decided, since I am taking everything out. Animals can sense energy all the time. They can sense all the energy. And so since I have decided to pull everything out, I've been pulling everything out since the end of August so I can move. Everything's all over the place, which is driving me crazy because I'm a really neat person. She's been jumping on the counter in the bathroom and like pulling stuff out. Pissing me off because I come home, there's Q-tips all over the place. Now she want to mess with my tooth. I don't play about my toothbrush, bro. I don't play about my toothbrush, and it has a cover on it, so she's not, I don't play with cats, okay? I love cats, but I'm also a person that understands that a cat is going to be a cat. So I'm always cleaning and cleansing and wiping down counters, and I'm just clean in general, and I'm mopping the floors and this, that, and the other, and constantly washing, because an animal is going to be an animal. So we can't sit up here and just and say like the cat's. Now my cat doesn't jump on the counter. You don't know what the fuck your cat is doing when you're not at home and when you're not. So I really forgot where I was. 2011, 2010, reliving lives. Okay, I don't know, but I don't know. Comment down in the comment section. Leave a comment in the comment section if you yourself have gone through that, where you see the patterns, you see the cycles, you know when you break them, and you are also being put in a position to redo certain scenarios in your life, and also being put in a position to go and redo missed opportunities in your life. Because traveling is something that I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to see the world. My family knows this. I think now that, well, now the fact that half of them are gone, no, not even half of them, it's like 4 of us left, like in my immediate family. 4 of us left, and I am like, no, 5 of us left, and I am one of the 3 elders. I'm like the baby of the elders in my immediate family. So they always knew that I wanted to travel. They're not surprised by this, but to do such a drastic thing like get rid of everything, they probably don't understand that, and that's okay, because that's a part of my spiritual journey as well. And it kind of reminds me of the story of Moses, which obviously different scenario. This is why I tell people that the Bibles are allegories and parables, and if you really deep down get the deep spiritual understanding of it, you can find yourself in the stories. And so I'm at a point where it's like the story of, I don't want to say Moses, maybe it's Buddha. I don't know, but I wasn't a person who came from a well-off family, but we weren't dirt poor. Like, we never lived in the projects, things of that nature. You know, we've always owned our homes. We owned our apartment buildings and things like that. But we lived in the inner city. I went to school with inner city kids. You know, I still had the government cheese experience. You know what I mean? Like, we owned an apartment building, but all of our family lived in an apartment building. Like, we lived in our apartment building. You know what I'm saying? We had one apartment in that entire apartment building that we could rent out to someone else who wasn't family, type deal. So with that being said, like, I wasn't well off in life with my family, and they were entrepreneurs, but they were bad entrepreneurs. But also, it's like I'm getting rid of all the material things and realizing how it doesn't matter to go on the journey. And this has been on me for the past 3 years to completely, like, be in this world but not of it, type deal. So I know with me getting rid of everything, I have like 2 full boxes to donate to the Goodwill today. Again, I've been getting rid of stuff since October. I have a physical storefront that I'm kind of like, because I have a online Botanica. I'm selling everything that I can sell that's not new. I'm getting rid of my car. Like, I'm doing all of the things to take this journey, and I am going to start documenting and vlogging my whole process of this and the unique experiences, and to really do deep cultural immersions. And this is not only just a spiritual thing, this is also just kind of like a better way of living type thing as well, because I am tired of trying to fight a system that is designed for everybody to fail, regardless of skin color, as long as you are not a part of the elite class, you know, or higher up. And I'm just, you know, I'm sick of that. I don't want to do that. And then me being a person who is single and who has no children and am not going to have any children, like, my monthly expenses just for the bare necessities of life is crazy. And I don't think that anybody should be put in this position at all, considering the fact that our system is making it completely unlivable in the United States, while also making houselessness or homelessness illegal. Like, you get, like, I live in Texas, you get a citation for feeding the homeless people, but they will go over and beyond to try to push you out of your homes. I'm going through a whole issue with my apartment complex right now where they aren't doing their job, and I'm so sick of dealing with people or companies where your employees can be subpar and not do your job, and it fucks me over or screws me over, because I think, like, YouTube is cracking down on curse words. It screws me over. But if the mistake is on my end as a resident or as a consumer, I'm held to a higher standard. You'll try to ruin my credit. You will put me in thousands of dollars of debt, try to take me to court and everything like that. But you and your subpar employees cannot do your job and screw me over and take money from me that's supposed to be okay. Like, no, I'm tired of being jumped from this kind of system, is what I'm saying. And so I know the grass isn't greener on the other, but at the same token too, there is something there that is better than this. There is some kind of reprieve that is better than this. And then also, just again, moving past that place of fear, because I am pretty sure that the rest of the world isn't operating how the news and the media depicts it to be. And I know that anyway, because it's not like I've never been out of the country. I've been out of the country on vacation. I've been out of the country when I worked as a flight paramedic. I was literally out of the different countries. It's not like I'm not cultured. It's not like I've never seen anything outside of my glass house. It's not like that I don't have any kind of life experience or anything like that. I know that things aren't better somewhere else, but it is easier. Like when I went to Costa Rica back in shit, I don't know. I think it's maybe like 2014. I don't know. I don't remember when I went to 2016 when I went to Costa Rica. Because I know after I came to Costa Rica, I was planning my trip to Thailand. I appreciated the simplicity of how things were over there. And I visited the Caribbean side. I still to this day have not gone to the Pacific side. I've gone to the Caribbean side. The Caribbean side is a different vibe. It's much more chill. You think like Costa Rica is chill. You've been on the Pacific side. It's even chiller on the Caribbean side. So I went to the Caribbean side. I stayed in hostels, mingled with the locals. Like when I travel, I don't do the touristy thing anyway because I want the cultural experience. I want to be fully immersed in the culture. I want to talk to the locals. I want to meet the people. I want to know why their customs are their customs. I want to know why their spiritual practices are their spiritual practices. I want to know, not know, but we all know, but see the synchronicities of different practices and things of that nature. So when I went over there, I appreciated the simplicity of the things that they have, but it also made me appreciate the structures that have been built over here in the United States. So I'm not saying what I'm saying like as I'm completely ungrateful and spoiled and don't appreciate what we have over here. I appreciate what we have over here in the United States, but I also think we've taken it too far. We have taken it way too far, and we see that every single day. If you look around, you see it every single freaking day. So with that being said, that is where I am on my spiritual journey, and I'm nervous, obviously, because it's different to try to live somewhere else. My goal is to tour Southeast Asia, starting out in Southeast Asia and traveling for a year. And completely, I have, traveling for a year. I'm taking my cat with me, and I am going to be vlogging this experience, like documentary style. And I invite everybody to come along with me because maybe you learn something here. I'm still going to educate. I'm still going to put the educational, spiritual videos on here. I'm still doing consultations if you want consultations. I have tons of workbooks. I know, everybody's like, oh my God, the ebook, but I put educational materials inside of workbooks. And it's great that it's like a digital download workbooks because of the fact that you can take it and you can add pages to it and you can reuse it, whether if you have a paper book, it's just one and done. And then also I'm being more mindful of my carbon footprints by also putting the physical books out there. So right now I am not doing physical workbooks, but I do have digital workbooks, and I'm still working with clients. I said that before. So on their spiritual journey and to help them and things of that nature. And this is just where I am. I invite everybody to come with me on this experience. I am manifesting, let me see here and do that. I am manifesting my film crew. I am manifesting my editing team. I am manifesting my assistants. I am manifesting everything that I need to make this a successful project. Because let me tell you, most of the videos are probably going to be like this. I'm going to try to film as much as I possibly, well, I'm not going to say a majority of the videos are going to be like this. However, you can't just fly, like I don't have a drone yet. I'm going to buy a drone before I leave, but you can't just fly drones in other countries. You need special permits, especially when you're going around sacred spiritual sites and stuff like that. You need special permits. You need tour guides. You need special permits to just even record in a certain type of way in different countries. So I have to be very mindful of that. And then also, like, I have not had a single car mount. I'm not taking my car with me, but I am not leaving until mid-October, early November. So I'm going to vlog my process up until then. So the B-roll, let me tell you, I have not had a single car mount that has done me justice. They have all failed me. B-roll might not be B-rolling. I'm not going to set up a tripod over there and yeah, I'm not gonna set up a tripod over there just so y'all can see me walk into the car. It's gonna be more like, ta-da! So, and we're here now. And we're here because It's just me. This is what entrepreneurship looks like. It does. This is what entrepreneurship looks like too, because you're the everything. You're the everything. I am doing a whole documentary style thing where I'm going to be doing the everything and doing this all from my iPhone. So I got to get my storage together for like how I can offload my videos. And welcome. Welcome. Join the journey. Join the journey. I'm going to be as transparent as possible. Make sure you follow me on all of my social media platforms, because I'm going to post different content on different platforms, including the content on YouTube. YouTube is going to be my more in-depth content. But please, you can support me by following all of my other platforms. Also, again, the workbooks are available if you still want to learn. I'm still going to put out, again, just to reiterate, I'm going to put out the more educational videos that are faceless. Some of them will be with me in them. Like and subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. I'm sorry I rambled a lot. Welcome to the House of Sunflowers.